Okay, number 15. This will be multiple choice on the test, but it's kind of hard to make a multiple choice as a review, so we're just going to have to write some examples. It says, when written in standard form, write a fourth degree trinomial. So first of all, it says a fourth degree trinomial. So first of all, what does that mean? What does degree mean? Degree means exponent, if you forgot. So that means the biggest exponent has to be 4. And trinomial means 3 terms. It has to have only 3 terms, with the biggest one being to the 4th power. It has to have a quadratic term. What does quadratic mean? It means it's x to the 2nd power. And a negative leading coefficient. So leading coefficient. So if it's leading, where should it be? In the front. So negative should be in the front. So let's practice this. So I know it has to have 3 terms. 1, 2, 3, right? Because it says a trinomial. I know the first term has to be negative. I know it has to have, the biggest one has to be x to the 4th. So he has to be in the front. And we have to have a quadratic term. It doesn't matter where you put it at. You can put it here. Does not matter. And then all you gotta do is fill in the rest. So I could put in, I can leave it like this for the first one, or I can put 5x to the 4th. I can put anything here. Plus x to the 3rd plus x to the 2nd. And what I have created, I got 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. Because remember, terms are separated by plus or minus signs. And then it says I must have a quadratic term. Here's my quadratic term. Okay. And then here's my 4th degree. I gotta have a 4th degree trinomial. And my leading coefficient must be negative. So my leading coefficient is -5. So I'm perfect when it comes to that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to make up some examples for you to go by for this one. And see, can you pick out the one that it goes along with. Okay, so if you could pause this video right now and write these examples down by the next one. And let's see which one makes this right. It says when written in standard form. So standard form basically means the biggest exponent to the smallest. So I already wrote these in standard form, but on the test they might not be in standard form. So you may have to put them in standard form. And the next example I'll write, you're going to have to write it, and I'm going to show you how to put it in standard form. So when written in standard form, biggest exponent to the smallest, write a third degree trinomial. So third degree, what does that mean? That means x to the third has to be the biggest one. Trinomial, how many terms? 3 terms. Remember this trinomial from tricycle has 3 wheels? And then it has to have a quadratic term. Quadratic term means it has to have x to the something. X to the second, sorry. And it has to have a negative leader. So it has to be in the front. So let's just look through these. Let's look at the first one. So we got negative 9x to the second plus 3x minus 6. So let's look here. Let's go in order. Do we have a third degree? Well, I don't see anything x to the third. So I know it can't be that one. Okay, let's go over here. We got, do we have a third degree? Yeah, we have third degree here. Do we have 3 terms? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Do we have a quadratic term? X to the second. Well, I don't see that, so I'm going to mark this one out. Okay, let's go down to the bottom. Okay, do we have a third degree? Yes. Do we have 3 terms? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Do we have a quadratic term? Well, I need x to the second. No, I don't have that one. So let's go over here to this one. I have a third degree. I got 3 terms. I got my quadratic term. And I have my negative leading coefficient. So this one checks off everything that I need. Okay, so we're going to try another one, and it may not be in order. Okay, so let's look at this example. And guys, you're probably going to have to write this example because it's not on your paper. So if you could just write it somewhere, write it on the back with the answer choices. It says when written in standard form. So obvious, I gave you one that's not written in standard form. It says write a 5th degree trinomial. So 5th degree, that means it's going to be x to the 5th. That's going to be your biggest one. Trinomial, 3 terms. It will help you to write this on there. Write it on your test. Break it down. It says with a linear term. Linear means it's just an x. And it has to have a negative leading coefficient. So what we have to do, we're going to take each one of these and write them in standard form. So let's look at the first one. We have 8 minus 6x plus 3x to the 5th. We put the biggest exponent first. This will be our biggest exponent. 3x to the 5th. And then negative 6x would come next. And then plus 8. So let's look and see, do we qualify for that? It says write a 5th degree. So look, we got our 5th degree. We got 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. Do we have a linear term? Yes. And it says and a negative leading coefficient. Well, I don't have a negative, so this one doesn't qualify. Okay, let's go over here. Let's put it in order. So 4x to the 5th comes first, minus 5x to the 3rd, plus 2x. Okay, so let's look and see if we check off everything. I have 5th degree. I have 1, 2, 3 terms. I have 2x as my linear term, but no negative leading coefficient. So that one doesn't qualify. Let's look at this one. I have x to the 5th. 1, 2. I only have 2 terms. So this one doesn't qualify. So let's put this one in standard form. Negative 6x to the 5th minus 3x plus 2. Okay, we got x to the 5th. We got 1, 2, 3 terms. We got our linear term, and do we have a negative leader? Yes, so that will be our answer. So stop the video and complete the rest of them.